Welcome to the Dr. OK Show. I am Dr. OK and still sick to my stomach, and I can't sleep, and I can't keep my lunch down, and I'm probably only still able to carry on because mommy is back on top. But alas, today it is our OK question of the week, so let's send it on over to the SportsZu. Doc, I hope you're feeling better now and are ready to join the rest of us in acknowledging Roman Reigns as your one and only tribal chief. Plus, you also called me out on Sami Zayn, so have you turned it around on both of them? Come on, SportsZu, Sami makes the least sense of anyone. Whenever he said it felt like old times, or it felt special, or it felt pretty good, Sami just is making up excuses. It just is really strange. I mean, maybe he doesn't remember all those old times when he was taking finishers to protect Roman Reigns, or all those old times where Reigns was testing Sami over and over again, or maybe he doesn't remember all those old times where he was put on trial. Or maybe he doesn't remember those old times when he was being forced to go up against his best friend, Kevin Owens, in War Games, and then was told to hit him with that steel chair at the Royal Rumble. So finally, he just couldn't do it anymore. But now apparently he has amnesia from that, and he just feels good about it now. So yeah, I don't feel any better about that. Do you feel any better about that? And so when he finally rejoined Kevin Owens, he had to beat both of the Usos to win those tag titles, and he somehow came out on the other side of it with a friendship with Jey Uso. But I think a lot of that started with Jey and Sami needing to get away from Roman and Jimmy, and then it just kind of blossomed from there. But at least Jey and Jimmy have legit blood reasons for rejoining Roman. But even so, Solo is the one who is their brother, while Reigns is a cousin. Maybe they just can't handle little brother surpassing the big brothers. And so the only way to get back into the right order of things is to go against him and hand things back to that tyrant, Roman Reigns. Now we know Solo Sikoa is no saint, of course. He did learn from the absolute worst person, and so of course he had to get rid of Jimmy after Jimmy failed to not just beat his brother Jey, but also failed to help Roman Reigns retain that title. But if Reigns had a problem with that, could have come back at any point, just like he could have come back when he also attacked Paul Heyman. But nah, Roman just didn't care. Instead, he decided to cry in his bed for 4 straight months. And while he was in that bed crying, he did not bother to reach out to any of those family members, and instead would rather have the food taken off the table. Now, this is just a question of the week, so I don't want to go too in depth. So if you want to see that, make sure to go back to my prior video right after Roman Reigns returned at SummerSlam, where I gave a 40+ minute breakdown of all of the times that Roman Reigns took advantage of his own family and needed help to win every single match. But okay, I'll give you 3 reasons here today why you should still not like Roman Reigns. Number 1, he either wants it all for himself, or the family must starve. Well, Solo Sikoa was named as tribal heir by Reigns himself over Jimmy Uso. But when Reigns failed to show up for months and months at a time, Solo had to do something. In fact, he grew the family to make the bloodline stronger. And in fact, they went on to win those tag team titles, and Solo was about to win the undisputed WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, until Roman Reigns finally decided to show up, and he said that if he can't be the one to win, Solo cannot win either. And then just a few months later, he then had the Usos interfere and cost Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa those WWE Tag Team Championships, so he effectively took all of the food off of the Bloodline's table. Then when he finally spoke after several weeks, he said that he wasn't changing at all. And so of course he did not apologize for a single thing that he did over that terrible 1,316-day title reign. And so somehow Jay and Zayn both came back to him without Roman ever apologizing. And then for all of you stupid idiots out there, after booing him for years and years over all of that cheating to win, he did absolutely nothing to redeem himself. And he sat on those sidelines for 4 straight months, and yet you now decided to cheer him? You decided to cheer him? Ah, my mind is blown at this. I cannot believe you people out there. Are you kidding me? Alright, well, if that's not enough, number 2, he also does not want to work for that food to put on the table. So last year there were 52 SmackDowns and 14 signature events, so that is 66 total events. And guess what? He only showed up in 26 out of those 66 events. That is 39.39%. Yeah, that is less than 40% of the time he even bothered to show up. And I will note that he twice appeared on pre-taped only segments, but that was not in front of that live crowd that we so much care about, so those don't count at all. Then on top of that, out of those 26 appearances, how many matches did he have? 6. 6 matches for an entire year, guys. 6 matches. I ask you good people, if you had a 5 times per month job, aka 1 time per month, and then once every month you had to show up 1 extra day to work, wouldn't you show up just about every single time? And wouldn't you kill for the opportunity to only work 5 days a month? Well, that's just too much to ask for Roman Reigns. So not only did he not show up at all for those 4 months after WrestleMania until SummerSlam, he also decided to take the whole month off for December. That's a pretty nice holiday break, huh? Then he also only showed up 1 time in September. Now, if I look back for the entire year, the only consistency he ever had for showing up was being there 10 out of 11 shows from Bad Blood to Survivor Series. And he only even showed up 4 straight shows 1 other time for the entire year. And in 3 of those 4 specific shows, he didn't even get touched. So this is professional wrestling, and only in the Royal Rumble did he compete, and in the next 3 episodes, he was not touched at all. So essentially, I'm just gonna repeat this for you. He does not want to work to even earn that food that he wants to be the one to put on the table. And number 3, when he did work, he was not good. As I said the other day, he only had 2 singles matches for the entirety of 2024, and he went 1-1 in those 2 matches, and of course, he lost the only one-on-one match that he had in the entire year. And we know that he is unable to dust himself up and get back to work, as he was too scared to even try for a rematch against Cody Rhodes, because he knew that he threw everything he possibly had at him and it still was not enough. So if he tried again, he would just be completely embarrassed. Now, on top of those 2 singles matches, he had 4 tag matches, which included a War Games match, which was with 4 other people, and also a 6-man tag. And of course, in that War Games match, he entered last out of every single person. So he was only in that match for a mere few minutes. But on top of that War Games match, let's go through every single match. Since there are only 6 of them, it's only going to take a moment. Well, in the Royal Rumble, he had to get help from Solo Sikoa to win that one. In night 1 of WrestleMania, The Rock turned a standard tag into basically a bloodline rules match because he told the ref that he would be fired if he did anything to stop them from doing whatever they wanted during that match. Then of course, at WrestleMania Night 2, he threw everything he had at Cody Rhodes and still lost. Then when he finally got back into the ring at Bad Blood, he would have lost there too, but Jimmy Uso came out of nowhere to bail him out. And then of course, everything was perfectly fine at War Games since everything was legal, but again, he was just in that ring for a few minutes as he was, of course, the last person to enter because of course he surely could not stand to be in there for more than the absolute minimum amount of time when 9 other guys were completely killing themselves. And guess what? He still found a way to take 3 Samoan spikes in that very short amount of time. So in conclusion, I can't believe anyone else is falling for any of this. But since I surely convinced you in these last few minutes, I'm sure you will no longer be a stupid idiot. So be sure to go back here and check out what I had to say about Tribal Combat and every other match from the Netflix premiere of Monday Night Raw. But if you forget to do that and still somehow want to cheer for Roman Reigns, that would be not okay.